starting out, if you could just kind of say who you are and how you got here today.
Sure. I'm Ben Reno-Weber. I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I was really lucky to, at every point in my educational and professional career, have been able to find people who were interested in the things that I was interested in and were very generous in their time and wisdom about how to navigate the current situation, and then also be looking ahead and saying, all right, well, this is what I was doing or am doing, and connect that with what was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Can you break that down a little bit? So like, where did you start your professional career? Like, you know, if you could say where you started and then like a little bit about what you're doing now, that'd be phenomenal for the people back home.
Sure. So I like to start. So when I was a kid, participated in some programs with the YMCA. So they were about what was called Youth in Government and Model United Nations, and the YMCA runs these national programs. And that was actually the first spaces where my leadership journey got sparked, because as part of that, they really asked questions about who are you as a person, who do you want to be? And I got connected to people that they were intentional about, who were near peers, and then people who were older. And I say that because I left Kentucky, went to school in DC, ended up working for the World Bank, lived in Bosnia, spent a lot of time there, and then ended up coming back after business school, after some time consulting, to be the CEO of that program that had meant so much to me. And it was really in that role that started me on an entrepreneurial journey, but also on a journey of giving back to the programs and the people who had done so much for me when I was a kid.
That's awesome. Tell me about some of like the challenges along the way. Like you went to Bosnia, so I have 25 questions about that.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about the journey a little bit. Like what were some of the bigger challenges?
Yeah, so I went to school in DC, as I mentioned, studied abroad a couple times in Dominican Republic, Russia, and spent a summer through a bizarre set of circumstances, but also through a mentoring relationship. It was actually my father, who was a college professor's former student, had become a professional mentor to me, and she was working in Bosnia. And when I was wrapping up my semester in St. Petersburg, Russia, she said, well, do you want to come down and see what this is like? And I was like, yes, that sounds great. And she helped me really to understand that, oh, there's a whole career in economic development and international work that's very much on the ground. You get to do really cool stuff, you get to travel a ton. And seeing that was even an option, and I think that's one of the real roles that mentors play in the world is, you know, for people who don't come from a space, just be like, oh, that's even a thing? You're allowed to do that? Yeah. So through her, I got an internship for the summer, and then went back to DC, finished out my college career, and I had been exposed to this idea of small finance. And so when a role opened in Bosnia, I was 23. I was like, yeah, I'll go live in Sarajevo. And everyone else in our professional universe took a step back. And I was like, let's go do that.
That's amazing.
So I ended up there for 2 years. Priča Bosanski, I speak Bosnian.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the first bit. And that also gave me some exposure to the business universe, which informed some of the next pieces of my career.
And what was the biggest challenge of that experience? Was it maybe just like kind of picking your stuff up and going to a foreign place, or?
Well, I was, as I mentioned, 23 when I got there. And the way that the payment structures work is that you basically got paid according to the income level of your country of origin. And so I was 23 and making as much money as the folks who were senior there. I was also not from there and didn't speak the language when I got there, and they were like, who the F is this kid?
I would be so pissed.
Yeah, right? Like, why is he here?
Some intern comes in at the senior level partner.
I mean, it was not exactly there, but it was definitely, there were people raising families on the $34,000 a year I was making.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually a lot of money for me, but for them, it was a lot of money. And their retaliation for that was they would only speak to me in English during scheduled meetings. So here we are. I am new to this country. I know.
Is that like in the handbook somewhere?
No,
They just made that
them
rule.
being jerks. And so, yeah, I had one friend at the beginning, and that was just their way of pushing back. And so I was like, well, what do? Well, I guess I'm going to learn Bosnian.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing for me was that for the first 6 months of this brand new career experience, no one would talk to me outside of scheduled meetings. And then I navigated that. I ended up doing a lot of their work, like whenever they needed English documents proofread. And I spent 2.5 hours a day studying Bosnian so that I could finally, like I could participate. And at that point, they're like, okay, this kid's bought in and he's not a jerk.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest bit of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then, was there a lot of opportunities in between your current role and there?
Yeah, so I left there. Actually, my father got sick, so I came home and took care of him while he passed, and then went and ended up getting a graduate degree of business and public policy. And what I was really interested in is the intersection of business and social good. So, like, what could we accomplish towards making the world a better place that was not just financially sustainable, but lucrative? So I ended up in microfinance for the World Bank. That was really interesting. But then came back, and the YMCA model is people essentially pay what they can. So we would provide programming that was so high quality that kids who have means would be able to pay for it and their parents would see the value in it. But then we would turn around and reinvest that in the kids who couldn't afford it. And that's sort of been the central point of all the things I've done. I left there to co-found a tech startup that managed volunteers. So you are a student, you have a set number of service hours that you have to get done in order to be part of the National Honor Society, or because it's a Catholic school. And we were one of the first apps that let you do that in a mobile perspective. So it's called Mobile Serve. I was actually just talking to my co-founder who's still running it. And, we're in like 700 schools. But that got me really interested in where technology could serve these niche populations. So that was the next journey for me. And when I stepped out of that company, I went to go work for some bigger institutions in the innovation space, because that's what you do when you step out of the entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
Like go find a recovery job for...
Sure. Yeah, man, it's in there.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I run a company called Essential Innovations that we... Shameless plug. What we do is help unlock the tens of billions of dollars in funding that is intended to help employers employ folks from undertapped talent pools. So if you have a felony conviction, you are coming off of food stamps or welfare, you are an alumni of the foster system, you're a returning veteran, there are so many programs that exist so that employers get essentially paid to employ you.
Can you text me right now, Evan, and make sure I introduce him to Kaz Maxwell? Can you please? Oh, is it? Thank you. Well, so one of my buddies that he does a lot of workforce development stuff. Yep. Specifically with AI and underemployed. Those are our people. He's going to be at our event tonight.
Oh, great.
And they're a national, they're like a preferred vendor of the White House. So we're rolling out this huge $5 billion fund AI program.
Brilliant.
So you guys need to talk.
We should definitely talk.
He's going to be stoked.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me more about it.
That's cool. So, my buddy gets out of prison. He deserved to be there. And comes out, and Ford hired him. 3 months after he starts working there, he's still working there. Ford gets a $2,400 tax credit for employing a recently convicted felon.
Sweet.
Right. Small businesses do not take advantage of this credit as a rule, fewer than 1%, because the paperwork is complicated. AI makes the paperwork much easier.
Yeah.
So our company is about using technology to benefit the populations that technology has never benefited.
Have you done anything with the Bluegrass State grant? Have you heard of this?
Skills program?
Yeah.
So we're deeply, what is fun about this is that we're riding this momentum of virtually everyone in the world recognizes that the best social program is a job that pays enough for you to be able to support yourself.
Yeah.
Wherever you are in the political spectrum, we can get somebody employed in a job that they can, with whatever range of support themselves, hell's yes.
Yeah.
And then, on the employee and potential employee side, there's a similarly vast array of programs that people don't take advantage of, or they get discouraged because they have to refill out the same pieces of paper over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it is, we say it's AI. It's not really AI. It's robotic process automation. Like, it's basically workflow management. But it's really important workflow management. And again, this is the sort of stuff that, for me, what gets me stoked is these are the problems that the Silicon Valley ignores.
Yeah.
Right? They don't see it. They don't know anyone. They can't, even if they saw it, they're like, what do you mean childcare is a barrier? Like, don't they have all pairs?
Yeah.
And they all in their own head are like, oh yeah, my mom stayed home, or I went to this daycare, but they're not like, oh, what do you do for the second shift worker when there is literally one 24-hour daycare?
Right.
Well, why haven't we solved this problem? It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that hard, but we haven't concentrated on it. And technology has made a lot of things that used to be hard easy. And so we were really sitting at this place where the changing technology available to develop products and to get them into people's hands is meeting an obvious need that is allowing these problems to be surfaced and solved.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting career path. What advice would you have for someone who is going to take a similar career path, if that's even possible?
Yeah.
You've done so many unique things, and I interview people like this frequently, and that's a very, very unique kind of where you at.
Yeah. So I think the things that I would always advise people is don't pick the boring path. Like, take the job that is, lets you get hands-on and deep into a problem. The easy thing is to go, mid-level marketing in a giant corporation, and nothing wrong with that. If that's your path, go to it. But I want to go be a career coach. I want to go be a teacher for a little while. You think about the AmeriCorps service programs, it gives you these exposures. I want to work in healthcare, because it's only through testing those things that you get what I do think is the most important part of starting a business, which is knowing your problem. Mm-hmm. What is exciting about right now is that we've democratized innovation because the technology has enabled it to happen. So if you're a nurse and you see an issue with the way nurses are staffed right now, you have a unique insight that, again, Silicon Valley, New York investors, they're never going to see.
Right.
But you all of a sudden can build a product, especially if you can then sell it to the people that currently employ you.
Right.
While you build it on the side. When you think about where we are as a society right now, we are looking for the kind of virtuous circle of, I'm building 3D printing housing to meet a social need. And while I'm doing that, I am upskilling hard to employ populations. Mm-hmm. And I think the mindset shift has been from, I have to sacrifice profit, or I have to sacrifice something else in order to make that happen. And I actually think it's exactly the opposite. The opportunity is that these are undertapped talent pools. And as an investor, what are you looking for? You're always looking for undervalued stuff.
Yeah.
These are undervalued talent pools, because once someone with a felony conviction gets a job that doesn't suck, they don't want to go do that again.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're your most loyal employees.
Exactly.
Right? They build your culture. 100%. Once you figured that out. And then, this is where that's the part that's so interesting to me. It's uplifting these problems that we need to solve and doing it in a way that empowers people to solve the problems that they care about in their lives and their societies.
Yeah. So for people that want to be entrepreneurs or CEOs, what advice do you have for them? What roadblocks? What I didn't know what I don't know sort of moments did you have that you can kind of give back to them?
So I think there's some technical parts to this. I always recommend that people read Drive, because it really does help understand what matters to people, and people are, cliche as it sounds, your most valuable asset. Mm-hmm. I love the entrepreneurial operating system, the book Traction. It really helps you be focused on what is the next thing that needs to get done, and built to last. That's sort of my trilogy of great leadership stuff. So there's that. I think the piece that is hardest and where honestly most people shouldn't start or run businesses, it's just an endurance game. There is a piece of this that's just 100% about your ability to endure punishment. I feel like that might have resonated.
Well, I was looking at Evan because we're in the middle of the marathon right now of all these events, and just like it's just nonstop shit. I'm like, rather buckle up. It's gonna just be this way.
I mean, and this is the roller coaster. So, started this company. Technically started it in 2024. Really figured out what we were doing in 2025. Had some early struggles and then a great stretch. Like our first bits of technology got verified. Like we got our first couple of customers. We had like very small amounts of money coming in the door. Then we won a bunch of like accelerators and pitch competitions. And so, man, we are riding high. Get to the end of 2025 and that pipeline is dry. Like I got a whole bunch of prospects, but they are not biting. No one is buying anything. Like, and our stuff is, here's free money. Like we don't get paid until we unlock tax or training or other resources, credits for employers. So this should be an easy sell. It was an easy sell for a hot second, and then it just wasn't. And I get into the holiday, and we're trying to bootstrap this. So we're also doing like innovation contracts and working with people. And I am working 14-hour days every day, and I got 3 kids and a wife who's also a startup CEO. So that is, don't recommend that. By the way, things to avoid: 2 startups, 1 household, very bad, very, very bad. So it's the end of the year, and we're putting in on this time. I put on 20 pounds. I get styes on my eyeballs, so I look like I've got like biblical leprosy. Like it is. My friends keep coming up to me and being like, "Dude, you look terrible." I'm like, "Thanks, but I can't stop right now."
That's funny.
So get into the end of the year, and I go into the holidays being like, "Well, am I doing the right thing here?" This is not my first startup, and I've been an advisor to 100+ startups. Like I know this intellectually. Like this is just part of the journey, but in your soul, like, that is hard.
Yeah.
and then 2026 starts, and all these things that were blocked start getting unblocked. Like we get a national recognition that we can't announce yet. We like customers that I've been talking to for months who just ghosted us are like, "Oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that. Sign." So in the last 10 days, we have essentially, I believe, doubled our revenue.
Let's go.
Yeah. But it was, a month ago, that looked very bleak.
Yeah.
And so it's just an endurance game.
Yeah.
Can you survive those hard bits to get to the next scene?
Yeah. It's funny. I think there's something going on in the universe. I think it was like they're changing from like a snake to like a horse or something.
I believe it. Yeah, great.
Because we had like
that's right.
Our company experienced similar things where like December was like kind of shaky, hicky. And then 26 opened up and there was just like all these deals that we didn't know that we're going to go through, like did. Yeah. And it's just been like, it's been sick.
Well, and I think that's where having people who can give you some perspective, and I would say, thinking about mentorship, it's also really important to think about the generational parts of that. Like, it's great to have somebody who's super successful who can say, "Oh, I'm super successful, and this is this is what I did." I think there's 2 dangers there. One, what made you successful 15 years ago is not going to make you successful right now. Like, the world has changed too much. 2, a lot of people who are successful were successful once, and money hides a multitude of sins. and then maybe they've done it a second time, but you do it from this place of privilege, power, and resources. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're really good and know what you're talking about. You might have just rolled the dice right once.
Right.
So
which as opposed to like sports, where if you roll the dice once right and you're 1 in 20, like you suck.
Yeah.
But in this game,
right,
you can get it one time and have 65 million in your bank account.
Right. And then you can buy the win.
Everybody thinks that you're
exactly. And then you can buy the next win.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been the Silicon Valley's dirty secret for all this time. They just have so much money sloshing around dumb things that some of them are going to hit, and that generates more money. I mean, you would think that so many of these investors are, we're cutting edge thinkers and we research all the time. biggest lemmings in the world.
Yeah.
They don't want to go until someone else has done it. They have all these like, oh, I can't even cut a check for less than $500,000. It's not even worth it. Dude, like by the time a company can absorb that as your, small check, you're a banker.
Yeah.
You're not a VC. Like that's what banks do.
Right.
Like that you de-risk this to the point where that's not interesting anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really the opportunity right now is, especially in the South and Midwest, where we understand problems that have never been solved there.
100%.
Most rewarding part of my professional journey has been the slew of folks who have worked with me over the years who are now successful in their own right.
Uh-huh.
I told you I ran a YMCA.
Yeah.
So YMCA youth programs, we had all these teenagers, and I got to spend time like really understanding, like, what do you care about? Not that you know when you're a teenager, but like, here's some sort of vague things. And by the way, here's some doors that you might not know are open. And having had the weird experiences that I've had, like working in Sarajevo and going to school in Boston and seeing all these opportunities, then bringing that back to see these kids, and now those kids are grown-ups. Like they're 30 and they are deputy assistant to the mayor and they are running their own companies or their national whatever. Like that's the most rewarding part. And then as I've been starting this thing, the number of those people who come out of the woodwork and are helping me is awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's really fun.
Yeah. I love that, man. What would you tell yourself 20 years ago today? Young Ben.
Okay.
Young Bosnia Ben.
Young Bosnia Ben. Dude, savor the stuff that is happening in that moment, even when it's hard. Because previous you dreamed of being where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you told me 6 months ago, like, oh, here's all the stuff that's going to have happened in the last 6 months, there's part of me like, well, that's going to suck, but I'm going to forget that part, the eye leprosy. You'll get over that. But like, I dreamed of being in the position that we're in right now 6 months ago. And I need to remember as an aggressive type A person to savor those moments of where you actually are.
Totally.
You take joy in the spaces where you are, which is different than I'm cranking on emails till 2 a.m. and I'm super stressed out about it. But I believe that I'm creating something and that's fun. Like one of the ways that I relax is like in an early morning, I'll write something that might turn into a LinkedIn post. But that gives me joy. It's not work in the way that we think of work as draining. Mm-hmm. Like in your ideal universe, which doesn't always happen. And frankly, that's what the money's for. The money's for the part that you don't like.
Yeah.
But in your ideal universe, like the creation that you get to bring to the universe brings you joy. And that is your life.
Yeah. I love that. Amazing. Well, Ben Reno-Weber, such a pleasure.
Dude,
thanks for rescheduling 3 times on me. With me.
It's going to be a pleasure.
Not on me, with me.
Yeah.
We'll see you tonight. Thanks, man.
Thank you.